Hello, everyone. This is Cassandra Williamson coming to you from Hardy, Kentucky, located in Pike County, right along the Tug River, across the river from Williamson, West Virginia, and Mingo County, and 10 miles. There in that corner in Hatfield, McCoy. It's okay. So my connection was lost for a second. So if I paused, sorry. I hope I'm trying to get through to everyone. Anyway, today's show, what we're discussing today is the veteran protest that's taking place all around the country, including in Alabama, of all places. I think there's 3 that I know of in Alabama taking place. And these veterans aren't protesting on an ideological basis. They are neither Republican nor Democrat. I mean, they're both or all, I should say. This is a nonpartisan activity. It's footsteps of the bonus army. For the reconnection. Finally, it may go in and out. I have rhythm going. Okay, so anyway, 1932, they protested there because they weren't getting the benefits that they had been promised. They were struggling with those things, and the government was refusing to do it. And what we have today is people going through and wanting to cut everything you could possibly cut from the VA. They're trying to privatize the VA system. We know that. That's what they've always wanted. All you have to do is read in Project 2025. It clearly states in there that that's exactly their goal, to privatize the VA. You know why? That's so that the people who have the money can have more money, so that businesses can go in and make more money. And not just any old businesses, folks. These are businesses that are already well established. It's not new stuff coming in to do all of this. These are people who are looking to pad their pockets with even more money. So, yeah, that's what they're trying to do. And what we had is, whenever they recalled all of the VA employees back and said, you will work in the offices, well, a lot of people had no office. They'd been working at home or from home for a long time, even before the pandemic, because there was no room for them to actually work on the campus or in the facilities. There are staff working in closets, nurses, other staff working in closets, because they were told to report back to their facilities. And now they're just trying to create misery among the workforce so that more and more people will quit and not want to work for the VA. And then that way it justifies them saying, well, look, all the people are just quitting and we're not getting good service anymore. We're going to have to privatize this, even though Secretary Collins is out there going, it's all good. He's very Pollyannish about the way the VA is running right now. Does that surprise anyone? No, it shouldn't. He's trying to keep all the veterans on board as much as he can while they do what they want to do behind the scenes, which is follow Project 2025 and demolish the VA system as we currently know it. Sure, there might be some changes that need to take place. Sure, we need to streamline some things. But I can tell you that I haven't met a single person whose job at the VA was not essential. Now, they may not have helped directly with veterans and veteran care, but you've got to have support staff too, folks. You can't just run these facilities and not have support staff, not have engineering or landscaping or people to pick up the trash or anything like that. I mean, and fix some food in the cafeteria, in the canteens, stock the stores, provide the products that are there, sweep the floors, mop the floors and polish them and keep everything as shiny as possible and making them look good and welcoming. But you can't, if you try to take away all that support staff and then double up all the work on everybody else in the VA system, what are you going to get? You're going to get very disgruntled employees who are looking to find a way to get out of it. But at the same time, you also have this entire federal government of ours under President Trump, the VA led by Doug Collins, Secretary Collins, and the Department of Defense led by the Christian nationalist Pete Hegseth. That's exactly what you're going to get. You're going to get those two collaborating together. They already signed a memorandum of understanding, an MOU. I think it was yesterday or the day before, to collaborate even more and connect things together with the VA to provide streamlining of services from active duty military over into the VA. Well, unless, of course, you're LGB or trans, especially if you're trans. Hell no. Forget that. They're out to get every single one of them out of the military and out of the VA. They don't want the VA taking care of it, of LGBT people, veterans. They don't care who you are. They don't care anything about you. They are out to strip away LGBT people from the whole of society. And all you have to do is look at the cruelty of Pete Hegseth whenever he ordered the Navy to change the name of the USNS Harvey Milk. That is a disgusting betrayal right there. Civil rights leaders under the John Lewis class of oilers or oiler ships. Right. I mean, that is just crazy. So why would they make that announcement on the 14th of June? Is when it's supposed to officially make this announcement. On the 14th of June, saying they're going to rename the Harvey Milk. Well, Harvey Milk was a gay icon elected as a supervisor in San Francisco and served in that role for 11 months before he was assassinated. Him and the mayor were assassinated at the same time. Come on, folks. This man actually encouraged and gave a space for gay and lesbian Americans right there in San Francisco. I think it was the Castro district. There, it became more of a hub for LGBT or LGB people more than anything. Right there, and LGBT people, that was the place. He was the person who was actually standing up for and defending their rights and did everything he could to do that and created the policy that became the law in San Francisco regarding non-discrimination for LGBT people. It's no wonder his name is on a ship. He is an icon in the community. Yeah, there's a bunch of crap going on out there. People saying he's this or that or no. There's no proof of any of it. There are no police reports. There are no investigations. There's nothing to back up any of those claims about the character of Harvey Milk. None. And don't you think the Navy would have investigated just a little bit? Yeah, they did. They sure as hell did. So anyway, the other part of that is my friend actually is the one, Paul Lanier, who is the one that actually broke the bottle of sparkling wine on there after it bounced the first time. But so we got veterans who are protesting today because they're being laid off. 30% of the federal workforce are veterans. Their families work for the federal workforce. They're getting laid off without regard to anything that they're owed, any job that they have been promised. I mean, that's why these people are martyred. That's why I wish I could be in D.C. right now, because right now at this moment, they're gathering on the mall for a march starting at 2 p.m. Eastern time today. They're gathering on the mall down near the Air and Space Museum across from 6th Avenue there in D.C. I know the place. I know where they are. That's where the people are gathering, and I hope there is a massive crowd there. The speakers are going to be people from all political persuasions. These veterans deserve to be able to take care of their families and to get the care that they need, because right now in the VA system, benefits are, the processing of all these things and the care that they're supposed to be getting is being slow rolled through all of this stuff. Yeah, there's some who are having great success and it's going really well for them, but you know who they are? Well, they're generally, well, I'm not even going to say it. Well, yeah, I will. They're just white people. Minorities are seeing the brunt of this crap, and we always will. So right now, trans people, trans veterans, transgender veterans are having the hardest time getting the care that they have earned. Lord forbid if you're a new person who's coming out of the military active duty and you're a transgender and you're trying to get care at the VA and you've never had it before, well, guess what? You've been told, the VA has been told not to provide them any kind of care. Those of us who have been in the VA system, well, we're protected for today. Who knows what Trump and his sycophants are going to do next? I fully expect them to go after every minority in the VA system, especially trans and especially gays and lesbians and bisexuals. They're going to go after the entire spectrum of sexual orientation and gender identity veterans. They don't want to even see your face. They don't want to see you at all. They don't want to do anything to care for you. And that's what they're doing right now, working on ways to get rid of them, shove them under the bus, or shove them under the floorboards of the closet and nail it down and concrete the thing over. And if that doesn't work, well, they are looking at reinstating some of the mental health institutions and actually going back in and doing some of the stuff that was done before, like, electroshock therapy on Alan Turing and many others. Gay man solved the Enigma code of the Germans in World War II. Smart person. But they persecuted him because he was gay. And they want to do it again, folks. They want to do this stuff again because they think they know more about the science than we do. They think they know more about, they don't even care about the science, to put it bluntly. They don't care about the science. This is all ideologically driven. All of it, every bit of it. These people do not want pride flags flying in the country right now. They don't want a Pride Month. I mean, how many times have I seen it over on X and at different places where we don't need to have a Pride Month? Why do you need to have a Pride Month? Can we have a White Pride Month? Or maybe we can have just take this whole month and make it into a Veterans Pride Month? Well, look, I'm a veteran. I appreciate the sentiment there. I do. I get it. I understand that. Fully appreciate it. But it's wrong to think like that because this group of people are being marginalized and threatened every day now from this administration, whether they're on active duty, whether they're in the federal workforce, whatever. And I know there are gay men and people working for this administration. And for the life of me, I can't figure out why they're doing it, except that, they've got a little bit of money and they feel like that's what they're doing, protecting themselves. I get that too, but it's still wrong. If you're defending this administration's behavior against minorities in this country, Lord, my gosh, you've got your head stuck way far up there in that back pocket beside it. You really do. You really do. You're thinking only of yourself. Now, look, let me tell you this real quick. There are trans people who are bringing a lot of this ire upon themselves because of the stupid crap that they do every day. And then they get picked up on Fox News and reverberated the story, repeated and repeated and repeated. One person out of a million doing something stupid, it gets picked up and the entire community gets painted with that one brush. We've got to start policing the idiots in our own group. But at the same time, we're going to push back against this stuff about taking benefits from our veterans and their families. We're going to push back hard against it. And I hope there's a massive crowd in D.C. in support of our veterans and their families who have been working in the federal government, who are part of it, whether they work there or not. Go out and support those veterans. Go out and support those federal employees who are part of that 30% of the veteran workforce within the federal government. Go support them. Stand beside them. Do not let this administration destroy the one thing that they have whenever they become veterans. And that's the VA system. That's TRICARE or whatever, Optum or whatever. They have different types of care that they're receiving. We've got to put an end to this assault on America's veterans and America in general. That's what this is all about. This is social Darwinism from the richest in the country, thinking that they have a right to take away our care through the VA, to privatize it and run it themselves. They're doing the same thing in the Postal Service. They want to do the same thing there, completely privatize that. They want to do everything they possibly can to get all the money they can to those who already have too much. They think they have they've got too much. They want more and more and more and more. And to what end? They're all going to die just like the rest of us, right? They put their pants on the same way, their dresses on the same way, they comb their hair, they brush their teeth, they go do all of these things just like all the rest of us, right? But yet they think they are entitled to run this country, to run every aspect of it, and make all the money they possibly can from it. It's a grift. That's all it is. And it pisses me off that we're sitting around and the conservatives over here aren't saying anything. The Republicans, I am not seeing a loud and vocal response to cutting away care for veterans, stymieing that care, slow walking it through the VA system, stripping veterans of their care and making it nearly impossible for some of us to get care or to gain access to the resources we need. I've reached out to Secretary Collins. No response from that man. None whatsoever. I don't expect that he will. He doesn't have the guts to talk to me. I wish he would. I'd be polite about it. I'd still have my voice up and ire over everything, but I'd still be respectful at best, the best I can. I hope. But anyway, I really want, if somebody out there listening to this show knows any way at all to reach into Secretary Collins' office at the VA or any of those people who are backing him up, the deputy secretaries and all of that, somebody has a way into his office so that I can hear on behalf of veterans what he is actually wanting to do. We know what he wants to do. We can see it. It's written plainly in Project 2025, but I just want to hear him say it. Yeah, we're trying to privatize the VA. We think we could do a better job in the private sector. I've got news for you. The biggest employer of doctors and psychologists in the country happens to be the VA system. The biggest. To strip away and make more difficult the challenges veterans already face, to consolidate a bunch of offices and to centralize control over a lot of these things, it jeopardizes lives of people I know and care about. It jeopardizes their lives. And what are we doing about it? Republicans have got their mouths zipped. They don't want to say anything because they think they'll offend someone in the White House. They're scared to death of Trump because he can primary them pretty easily. He's got a lot of influence around this country. But I can tell you this too, that influence is waning quickly because veterans, even though we don't represent a large portion of the country, we are very influential in this country. We have a lot of impact. And I'm asking everyone out there, if you can, and you're in DC and you're a veteran, go there and participate. It starts at 2. You should already be there on the road, actually, finding a parking place because I hope it's crowded. I really do. I hope this is an overwhelming response all across the country. And I just read reports from Alabama that 3 locations in Alabama veterans are going to be protesting there as well. Just think about that. In Alabama. But it's only 3 places. It should have been at every military facility in that state. Maxwell to Redstone. It should have been all across that state. There should be veterans protesting because of what's going on in the VA right now, because this will impact their care, their lives. Many of them work for either the state or the federal government. I mean, come on. Why are you sitting around licking your, well, almost said that one. Came really close. Anyway, yeah, it pisses me off, okay? This all pisses me off because this is so preventable and it was so anticipated, and the Republicans are keeping quiet. Democrats are yelling, but they've still got the extremists in the party. Right now, we need people to say, I support our veterans, no matter who you are, where you are, who you love, or how you identify. Any characteristic. If you are a veteran, you deserve the care that was promised to you and your families. Come back at 6. We'll have a little bit more.